Hi, my name is Trisha, and I'm a mom of four very special, unique boys who has come to seek the help and assistance of 3D Learner. When I first realized there was something going on with my oldest son, I was totally mystified because it felt like he was really bright. At 7 years old, he knew everything about World War II. He knew everything about the planes that flew in World War II. He seemed very precocious, very excited to learn. He was like a sponge for information. And he loved to read. When he was in second grade, he read the entire Harry Potter series in 10 days. He was a voracious reader. He was reading the newspaper. It seemed like I had this really, really bright kid. But when it came time to learn his times tables, he couldn't remember them from literally 1 minute to the next. They just would not stick in his brain. And when he was in third grade, his teacher said there's something going on. His spelling is atrocious. And when I would spell with him, there were times when I would look at the words he was trying to spell and I couldn't even tell what he was trying to spell. So here I had this kid who was a voracious reader but couldn't spell to save his life, and who had the memory, a crazy memory for facts and things that he read and places that he went, but that he couldn't remember math facts. Not long term. I mean, I'm talking from 5 minutes, we would go over something, and then 5 minutes later, he would forget. I knew there was something going on. His teachers knew something that was going on, but we weren't sure what. So the inevitable place that schools send kids and parents who are having trouble being successful in the classroom is to a psychologist. So we went to a psychologist. We paid thousands of dollars for them to evaluate my oldest son. And it was a long period, and one that he didn't enjoy. I can't even remember. It went over a series of a couple weeks, I think, but it was very expensive. And so when I got the report back, they basically said there was nothing serious going on, and that he had processing issues, and trying to think what else they said. He was not gifted, and that his IQ was high superior, and that there were really no significant learning issues. All of it was a surprise to me. It didn't make sense at all. I felt like the report was for another kid because I knew that my son was really bright in certain areas and just struggling with math facts and spelling. So I gave a copy of the test to his teachers. I gave the copy of the test to his grandpa, who did some teaching. Gave a test to my mom, who was a teacher. I gave a copy of the test results to just everybody I knew that knew Arthur. And when they read the results, they said something is not right. And so I didn't really know what to do. I did a lot of research myself, and a name that kept coming up was Linda Silverman and visual spatial learners. And it seemed to really sound like my son. All the characteristics of a visual spatial learner really sounded a lot like Arthur. He was awesome at Legos, at building things. He was in a Odyssey of the Mind competition and built a crazy hovercraft in second grade. Like all the things, the characteristics of a visual spatial learner really made up my son. So Linda Silverman was in Colorado, so I was on a quest to find somebody local to help me figure out what was going on with my son, and how to make him more successful at school. So I happened to come across 3D Learner. I picked up the phone, and I made the phone call, and I spoke to Mark on the phone, Mark Halpert, and he took about an hour of his time to speak with me. I felt so comfortable talking to him. It sounded like he already knew my son, and so I set up an appointment to come and see them, and brought Arthur. And when we showed up, they're super warm and friendly and nice and welcoming, but within 5 minutes, Mira asked Arthur just a few questions, and she started nodding her head. And so for just a few $100s, Mira did an evaluation for Arthur that answered every question that I had. It was exactly what I was looking for, and it made total sense.